Welcome back, fellow Armchair Generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3's Black Ice. 10.41 currently, and I'm ignoring the two newer versions just because I don't want to keep restarting over, and they've been pumping them out now. I have been informed on that front. They are mostly not working on any more hot fixes, which is what I would sort of consider the last couple of 2 or 3 versions out, but working on the next big version, whatever it may end up being titled, probably based upon how long it takes for them to build it and how big of a change it's going to be. Now, I've got a couple of questions here from the live chat that I will address now. One was from Enkins. How many transport planes do I usually use? I don't have a number. Don't keep those in my head. But we have some heavy transport planes, and I want those. And we also have, where I don't know where they've gone. Are they also up here? No. Well, we can just look here and see air supply waiting. Oh, they were supplying a pocket. Okay, stop. We don't need to do that. We'll break these up. I just need to do that for big paradrop up in Norway. What I do with transport planes, why transport planes I think are necessary, and why I overbuild them. I overbuild them. They are designed in this game to do 2 basic things, and which is based on history. One is parachute drops. Unfortunately, we cannot specify the difference between parachute drops and air transportable units. A good example is like the invasion of Crete. Germany takes, Britain is still sort of ruling the waves. There's limited cooperation with Italy, and there just isn't a lot of naval transport, though they do use some naval, some barges or whatnot to get some troops over to Crete. But Britain still has a considerable naval capability, including submarines, that make a naval invasion of Crete, or something primarily a naval invasion of Crete, rather difficult. I'm not going to say impossible or anything like that. So they parachute in airborne units, the Fallschirmjägers. What is it? The Falling Hunters? I don't know. With their main job was to capture the airfields and secure them, and that's very high losses for them for several reasons, and I'm not going to go into details of the campaign, but they take high losses, but they secure, I think mostly over in this area, they secure the airfields, and then what they mostly transport in are mountain troops to the airfields as reinforcements. Mountain troops are particularly good for that because their equipment's lightweight, including their artillery, and they're just a little better. But this is not like a glider landing, air landing troops or other sort of airborne. These are just troops that, you can get everything on airplanes fairly easily, fly them into a relatively secure airbase, and they walk off the plane. And it's reasonable and I know there's an mountain division moving out of here, so we'll just click that. Right here. It's reasonable to sort of presume that most of this division, don't know how much recon cavalry they would have, as opposed to motorized, or just not have. I mean, there are reconnaissance elements that are foot-based, just because they're given the duty or whatever. But we could sort of presume that most of this equipment could be transported readily by air. Now, they also similarly did air landing of ground troops, and some of them most definitely not mountain troops, just regular ground infantry, in the Norway campaign after they secured some of the air bases. Now, I do know that I think there was one transport that comes in with paratroopers that lands at one of the major Oslo airports or whatever, and just gets machine gunned up because, and most everyone dies, if not everyone, I don't know, in the plane because they thought the airbase had already been secured. It hadn't yet been. And but what would have been coming in for some of these stuff would just be sort of like the infantry elements. Definitely not any cavalry, with horses, but the infantry elements and, maybe a few light anti-tank or something that are being flown in, but all of the artillery and whatnot just weren't able to be put in the airplanes of the day, the time of the 1940s invasion. Hello, Darkstar. Have you ever used assault gliders? Yes, I have. We only have the one currently. Assault gliders, they can hold a lot more stuff, weight of units, but they are slow and they are so they're easier to hit, and they are very short range. Yeah, transport capacity is 21. As we can see here, this is almost becoming a tutorial. Transport capacity here is 25. Is actually heavier, but this is a heavy transport. And we have my notes over here. This unit here is down at 10, and that's so transport glider is slightly more than double, but they are slow and they're very short range. So you can definitely use it. I think something like the transport glider, I'd have to see, might be able to get from here to here, but even that I'm questioning at the moment. It's fairly quickly. I don't recommend building any. So do I use them? Occasionally, but not very much. So in this game, they're designed for airborne operations, and you can drop troops on unoccupied hexes or occupied hexes. And they have to, if they lose, especially on occupied hexes, they're gone. If they lose on an unoccupied hex and they don't have a retreat path that is controlled by their side, they're completely gone. So you want to keep your airborne forces. Hello, David. How you doing? You want to keep your airborne forces as best you can get them, as in technologies and whatnot. And so that's one of the elements that it's made to be used for. The other one is, which we did earlier during, you probably saw, if you've been watching the episodes, the Rommel trapped and whatnot, that we were flying in supplies into a pocket. You very much can fly supplies into a pocket, and it can be very handy. I'm not sure that the Rommel unit would have been destroyed. There was another unit that we saved, and there was another unit that we didn't save. Another division died out over here because I just wasn't prepared for it, and I overextended, so I lost a Panzer division because of it, and it was completely. Hey, Niagara, how you doing? Yep, we're actually we got one division there, and we're sending a bunch heading straight for the Balkans campaign. So supplying pockets, they can very much do. Now, what you will find. And they have added depots, supply depots or railway depots, and I've not really played a campaign in which I think they've had any major effect. We will see how they go with the invasion. You can't build them. Rail terminuses, that's what it's called. I don't know if there's anything I think they're event given that are meant to help with supply. Okay. No, they're not in Hoi 4. They're just in Hoi 3. They're not even in Hoi 3. They're a black ice thing. Basically, these are, I don't know, because I forget the model. The small assault gliders that they used, in France on Eben Amal, and then they have the big gigants, the big huge assault gliders that they eventually put engines on them and turn them into mega transport planes. So Germany did have heavy transport planes, obviously, that they were flying to North Africa and put on, the 38Ts and other lighter sort of tanks and trucks and all of that kind of stuff that you can put on a Gigant. You can't. I just don't think dimensionally or weight you can hold a Panther or Tiger. I don't know quite where. I think it's more of a size issue on some vehicles. Other vehicles, it's a sheer weight. So as you push east, because they don't have proper railways, because you cannot specify supply paths, because the AI will not notice that if you build, in essence, a railway, an infrastructure path that is, best quality, it won't follow it. So you can, maybe I even should improve the infrastructure. Try to, I guess, and I haven't really done any great study, draw straight lines, if you will, by, infrastructure here, so that it will just take the best path. And there are events that change it, and obviously there's the Pripet marshes and other things that can be very bad. So a combination of the game's mechanics, bad AI, the inability of modders to deal with it, the inability of even, I wish to God, people complain about micromanagement. Yeah, I wish to God I could come in here and just assign, please send X number of supplies from this location to whatever location. And I know it's going to take however long it's going to take, but if I start sending the supplies and I somehow have had to literally write up a supply report, I would do so, and whatever it took to get it. But you can't do that. So what I do is I build air bridges. I will have, when we're starting it already, I will keep building primarily heavy transports, and I will do something like 2 transports, and they'll leave from Berlin and they'll go to their greatest extent, say up to here, what's this, Suwalki, to this airbase, and then I'll put 2 more heavy transports at this airbase, and they'll go to their greatest extent to, say, this airbase here, heavy transports. And then I may take the sort of standard transports, I don't want to call them light, they're not really light, and then use them to fly supplies, and I watched for the red, triangles in the corners for out of supply units, and try to keep, or units that I want to particularly go on the offensive with, and constantly air supply frontline troops. And I'll have 2 or 3 of these air bridges, and you can go back and look at my earlier playthroughs, and particularly into the Russian campaign, and see the supply bridges as they work. So I overbuild transports and normally do some infrastructure improvements, but not as much as some people do. And I sort of take, instead of doing that, I'm doing the air transports to get the supplies to the front. And I noticed a lot of people, okay, if you have certain minister types, it'll give you rail terminuses in the, okay, very good, Dark Star. Don't know which ones those are. That'd be interesting. Anyone, please. Thank you, Arno. Kick in the door in the whole run. Yeah, not quite as easy as that. You mean Eastern labor rooms? Yes. Yes, we're going to continue occupation here in Poland. Yes, David, I am. Hey, Arno, would you do me a favor and generate a Discord application and put it in both Twitch and YouTube chat so anybody can get to our Discord server? David, just get into the Discord server and post a note there, probably in one of the War Thunder forums, I'm sure, and post what, even if it's the same, what your War Thunder handle is. And if you're showing up through the Discord server, I will automatically give you let you into the War Thunder squad for sure, David. It's just not open to just pure random people who haven't said hi yet. So get in there and just do that, if you will. Arno, thank you very much. Yes, and that should at least be good for 24 hours. That. Just get in. We'll get you in. Germans always transport aircraft too little, made for it. Yeah, shot down a lot of them. Arno is right. From one of the analysis, it was not so much the Norway campaign, but actually the Rotterdam campaign, or the Dutch campaign, however you want to say it, that really, really started the crippling of the German transport. Hey, thanks for following, everyone. And as Arno's posting links around, you can follow me on Twitch, and sometimes I'm just live on Twitch. Sometimes I'm live both on Twitch and YouTube now. And of course, if you're on Twitch and you want to follow over on or subscribe over on YouTube, you may. So it really started with the crippling in the Netherlands, and really sort of completed the crippling in Crete. It never recovers from Crete, and the final real sort of blows to the Luftwaffe air transport arm is Stalingrad. But it really shows up early. And what the real problem is not the loss of the transport planes or the loss of the transport pilots in either the Rotterdam or the Crete operations, but why it's... Oh, wow, they've already started the invasion of... Oh, God. But, oh, man. Yeah, we've got to get down here to save these guys. It is not so much the loss of the transport planes or the loss of the transport pilots in Rotterdam or Crete, but it's the loss of the training airplanes and the training pilots in Rotterdam and Crete that caused the problem, because the Luftwaffe training aircraft and the training pilots are the transport pilots and aircraft. You will note there are very few fighter type models that are twin seat models. And they're an extremely rare occurrence. So the Luftwaffe doesn't have or has very few training versions of its combat airplanes. And you will also note, if you look into it, and as an American who looks at this, they do not have a designated training aircraft in their fleet of any numbers. Even something like the Storch, which is cheap and easy to make, is still a single pilot aircraft. It's not like a dual controlled aircraft. Where the US, and I don't know whether they're Beech models or somebody else, they have a lot of cheap aircraft that are either I almost got it. It's a biplane. I'm sure if I know, I'm just sort of I'm forgetting it. But they have a biplane that has forward and rear, but both have controls on it. And then they have some planes that are side by side pilot training things. So the instructor and the pilot can both have aircraft and have dedicated aircraft production to training aircraft. The Luftwaffe does not. Should it have? Probably. The reason I say probably is because the Luftwaffe is so short of everything throughout the war. And if you've watched enough of my videos, they talk about the America bomber or the Euro bomber. The Euro bomber was talked about by what is it? The Luftwaffe general that gets killed before the war starts. Forgetting his name. Starts with a W. Want to be able to bomb deep into Russia with a 4-engine airplane. Well, the Luftwaffe's, in my understanding, main point of failure for production is not enough engines. It definitely has an issue with airframes, the rest of the aircraft, but it's mainly engine production is their point of failure. They don't have enough engines. So if you have an aircraft that has 4 engines, or you have an aircraft that has 2 engines, well, you can build twice as many 2-engine aircraft as you can build 4-engine aircraft if if engines are the main point of failure. It's not the only point of failure. It's not the only point of cost, between, aluminum and steel and whatnot and resources. So I built another Panzer division that I compared to from what I lost. And it's right here. Would I have built this anyways? Very well, maybe. So I don't know if it's replacing the lost one, yes, but it's just sort of, maybe would have built anyway. So once you lose it, you never get it back. It's not that. Manpower is definitely an issue, but for the pilots, it was training of enough trained manpower. It wasn't manpower itself. The Luftwaffe has plenty of manpower, so much so that basically, whether it's the Army or Hitler or both, demand that a lot of Luftwaffe personnel get transferred to the Army. Goering sort of gets them into a compromise to have Luftwaffe ground field divisions, not anti-aircraft divisions operating in the east, but actual frontline divisions, and they mostly do poorly. I say mostly because you have the Hermann Goering division that's actually a good division, if not a very good division. But so it's for pilots, it's trained manpower is the real issue, and that's gets back to the point of when you lose your training aircraft and your training pilots in operations, it's sort of like replacing a lost division. Well, yeah, it's just they're snappy dressers, absolutely. So yeah, it's a thing, and so that's why from things that I've read is why it's Rotterdam and Crete is where the Luftwaffe, particularly transport arm, but just generally starts to fall apart, and it's really super noticeable once the huge losses, both just to weather as well as anti-aircraft attack from anti-aircraft guns flying in, as well as fighter pilots flying in the Russian winter, just really take a huge toll on the support into Stalingrad, and and whether on landing or just navigational problems. Oh yeah, jewel encrusted Marshall batons. Oh, those are really cool. Yeah, lots of cool looking things for sure. But okay, let's continue this. And we've just been talking and haven't been doing too much. Turkey wants, yes, you can have energy. So our current plans are we are moving a lot of our new divisions and some, we probably should move a few more divisions east. And we are not going to try to get Yugoslavia into the Axis and then watch them betray us. We're just going to invade and take the country. Now, why am I doing this? Hey gamer, don't you always say you try to play historical? Well, two things. One, yes, I try to play generally a historically plausible campaign. But two, I also want to not have to make the same mistakes as happened in World War II. We want to correct them. I don't want to play the same campaign and just hopefully, invasion of wherever and hopefully do it better. I want to do things right. Okay, study for level 4 Naval HQs. We want to do that. And you don't have to, but I do take the command elements for it. The hierarchy. Okay, I guess is that all we got? Oh no, here we got a lot of stuff. Okay, West Frankenreich. Okay, so we're gonna send him. I'm not sure. Let's. West Frankenreich also sort of covers. Maybe we'll send them to Calais. Learning Commando Group Nord. Okay, let's just attach you to North Sea. Denmark. Okay, let's also attach you to North Sea, because I guess so. So you get these nice historical. I guess North Sea, though we're going to run out of. Commander Admiral Norwegian. Okay, well, you need to get on a transport and get up to. I think we have a bunch of transports up here. Yeah, I would use these. Use them as an occupation force, as well as everything else. Okay, Nederland, not that they really need their own. Well, we got too many in the North Sea already, so I guess put them there. And a fleet command. Well, we'll send you out to Cherbourg as well. Be something. Okay. Yeah, I'm sort of getting there. What about North Africa? Hello. Marwan? Okay. So what we're going to do here is we Germany. Okay. There's limitations to this game. I know you all know that. I do have no control over Italian assets. I cannot use Italian ships to transport German forces. You can see they've already been beat up a bit, I guess. It was not being very smart. Are you? Yeah. Oh, you know, that's really what I should be doing. Damn, I am screwing up, people. Okay, we are doing a lot of naval strikes up here, which were very useful before. But now, come down here. I am screwing up. We should be supporting our Italian allies with anti-air operations as badly as things are going here. Okay, you come back, you come down here. Okay, so we'll definitely try to deal with some of these naval operations. So like I say, we have no control over Italian forces, including naval operations. So I cannot even get forces to here right now, let alone to North Africa. Nothing I can do. I do not have ships here. I know some players said, well, I needed to, before starting the war, get some transports into the Mediterranean, but, well, I could, theoretically, but I don't have bases because Italy was not in the Axis before the war started. So what we are doing is we are sending forces down here to invade Yugoslavia, take Yugoslavia, and then we'll get some Yugoslavian ports by an event so that I can then place these units into the Mediterranean and then be able to get stuff to North Africa. So first we have to what does cutting out the Suez do to Britain in this game? Limits its access to the Mediterranean. Nothing specifically more than that. There are, victory points here that will attribute toward or contribute towards, potential losing, but nothing super harsh other than cutting off supply routes. And so either they need to, if they have a garrison such as Cyprus, then they'll need to come through, you know, all the way across the Mediterranean or something. And so, yeah. Okay, destroyer classes advance. Very nice. Grayed out. And we have some more points. Let's do, we'll do torpedo boat classes. And the Andrea Doria is lost. They haven't spotted us. They're snoring on. Okay. The first happy time, right? Okay. Yeah. The whole Becker chain definitely inspires me. And they've had a rethink here about this, because it really shouldn't be costing all these supplies and costs, because Becker, I think it's this guy here, really is one of the guys who gets started in upgrading captured equipment. We'll lose that, get another unit, and get some there. Right, so it was just okay. So we now have, oh, we'll deal with these in a moment. Okay, so now we have this division, heavy AT. How interesting. Okay, well, I also don't think it should be all gutted like that. We have some, again, I don't think it should be gutted like this. Oh, heavy armor, artillery, regular armor. Is this supposed to be the Charbis they capture? Okay. So we have some Panzer brigades. We might want to add some captured French equipment, some heavy artillery, French artillery, yes, okay. No, who is, does it say who builder is? I don't know. I don't know. So a bunch of captured units there. Okay. SS Tank Destroyer Brigade. Yes. Lisht. They have light and they have an elephant. The SS never used the elephant or Ferdinand, either of the versions of the thing. This is obviously much later war for Jaegers. No, demand control. Himmler is insistent. Interested, no, demand the military control of the SS. What, I don't know that I like that whole thing. Don't know which one we got. Let's see, historical playthrough. Yeah, victorious. Yeah, Weber. That's right. Thank you. Dead. Yeah. After his death, his student was in charge. He supported a more tactical. Yeah, and tactical is better for what really Germany can do, as opposed to what it wants to do. Oh, he's naval bomber techs when I play primarily. But yeah, naval bomber. Because my whole naval campaign concept here is avoidance of major naval naval opposition. I want to avoid it. I don't, if we trap a bunch of forces in the Mediterranean and then we can cut off their supply and they lose organization and then we can bomb them or attack them or whatever and destroy them, great. But when they're in good shape out there, I just want to avoid them mostly, the enemy. Yes, radar is good too, and I should be building some of that as well. Now, what we have done here, and okay, so these guys are now fully organized up. Let's come over to the naval map mode, and let's see what we can do with our convoy rating passive. I highly recommend a passive convoy rating. Why? Well, it's not really passive in the sense of it's, oh, that's too far out. Okay, there we go. The difference between passive and aggressive is passive is once it takes some damage, they'll head home to get repaired, as opposed to aggressively stay out there taking more and more damage until they're almost dead and then head home, often though they die before they can head home. So I strongly suggest, unless you really want to micromanage it a lot, let's move you over to here. We're doing pretty good, as we can see here. These are our commerce raiders. There, so we're going out, we're getting some. Now, as mentioned, I think we should do some radars. So back over here. Get a little bit of a look in on Britain, get a little bit of a advantage for ourselves. We'll wait to get some of that. Now I'm going to move these two up to the top, get them done. Thank you, David. I really appreciate the kind thoughts. And of course, we are still battling out the last of. They still have a support, so they're still getting some supply. Okay, we'll use that heavy artillery of that division. Yeah, okay. So there's a big pocket in here with a lot of forces. Okay. Reinforced conquer. Okay, so that just happened. Good. French workers. It's missing the image, I think, and not the problem. Okay, we're going to lose a couple of, I guess, major victory. Okay. Well, we finally took out Rotterdam. And what do we get to replace Panzer Group Guderian with? Okay. Yeah, probably worth it. Third Panzer Group come down here. Don't know how much. Now, I'll tell you guys, if I was just playing on my own and not trying to keep things flowing, whether for the live views or just generally speaking, I'd play this much slower and much more detailed of okay, let's put you under commander. Post C. Let's put you on board ships and let's make a dash. No, actually, we're going to rebase up to here. Hopefully that we're having enough air that's messing with them. Okay, you come out here, start naval striking this area. You start naval striking this area. Hopefully you'll help the Italians win a bit better. Naval operations, but why do I not feel too confident on that? Well, we're at least attacking something here now. We also need to deal with some more technology issues here, or research. Okay, might as well get that done, but let's come down here, which may be a bit more timely for coordination, amphibious. artillery flexibility advance. Lose the dogs of war. I mean, set up the wolf packs. Good one, Nagara. Yes, we're going to get our own port in the mid. Okay, artillery flexibility, which I think is under here. Okay, artillery, we'll keep this researching, keep that going. Looking mostly for 1940 and earlier. Conf group, okay, combined arms, operational and advanced training centers, blitzkrieg. Which is advanced training centers we're under. Well, this needs to go, okay. I do see that. Just not worried about air attacks at the moment as much as getting some other stuff done first. It's more of a first, get other stuff done first than it is not caring about it. Oh, combined arms integration, we want to do that. Okay, there we go. And landing craft flotillas, and has that already been grayed out and have we already used the points? No, we're still improving that. Range would be really useful to increase. So does that. But we'll swap this down here, just make sure we get good range out of our landing craft. Okay, Operation Loge, I guess, strategic bombing of England. Let's see, 15 chance, okay. I think we're not going to spend the ICs on this. We're not going to try to strategic bomb. We're going to be smart about things. Okay. Upgrade, yes. Some of these I think are overly expensive. Not all of them. Because sometimes, upgrading, what does upgrading mean? It doesn't mean a whole new division. It just means, I don't know, more trucks, a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. I'm not looking at each of these in too great a detail. We're just going to take them. Oh, good. Okay, let's look at resistance levels currently. Right. This isn't good, neither is this. Now we're hoping to get, well, we are going to get some, well, let's just put some of these guys on the ports now. No, von Manstein, yes, we got, okay, I'll get one of those skill here. Okay, no, you're way too good for it. You're getting that. Oh, wow. Rommel, yes, you get over here quickly. But we're going to drop that there. And yes, I know good air. Von Manstein, I mean, want the command. Okay, we'll give that to him. Sub were always a nice flavor if I checked how much tonnage I sent. Yeah, interesting. Okay. We're not going to do the V2s either. We're going to be smart about these things. I said V2s are a wasteful program. Too many units already there. Okay. Well, now that we have the Netherlands, let's drop these two here in Amsterdam. Let's find a fighter pilot, not a... Oh, I'm sick of these fake guys. Okay, do we have any well or... Ooh, you got munched up over Britain. Go home. Where are you? Okay. Make sure you don't go out over the sea. Let's put you there. We got to be careful about that. We don't want to go over British territory and get munched. Okay, I don't know if we need... Let's take a look at... Okay, we are sinking lots of forces now that these submarines are heading out. And they're just on their paths out. They've been sinking a lot. Though we have been taking a bit of losses up here. So what we're going to do, and I've made a plan for that. Let's put you up here and we're going to naval strike this area. Okay. Wow, they've let's look here. Okay, I see what they've done to some degree. Huh. Right. Okay, well, we need to cancel some of these things. So, we talked earlier about AI and AI control and not. So we're going to look here at okay, see, right now we have auto create and destroy resource convoys, supply convoys, and auto maintain convoy transport escorts. I'm going to leave that, but we're going to undo both of these things. That gives us control. So we're going to do that. And now we're going to come over here and convoys. Okay. Yeah. Let's see where. Harv to Cherbourg. We're going to cancel the convoy there because we don't need the convoy going through the English Channel. We don't need a convoys coming out of Memel and going wherever else. So let's Memel to Kirkness. See, the AI said, oh, this is the closest point to here. So let's get a convoy out here that goes all the way around there. Let's get rid of that. So let's cancel that convoy. This is why I just don't trust the AI. Now we're also going to cancel we're just about going to cancel all of these set and convoys. Cancel. But we're going to actually redo one and add another one. Don't know if you're hearing it in the background. There's a horn honking from a car alarm. Okay, we're going to come in here and we're going to create a convoy. We're going to create a supply convoy. We're going to go out of... Would like a report. Are you hearing the horn as I'm talking, or is the AI, NVIDIA AI, taking it out? Yeah, we're going to go from Seton to Königsberg. Königsberg got to be up. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we are gonna we did have that before. I just because there was also these other ones here. We're gonna go here, and the other one, of course, is we're gonna go up to Memel. So we're going to create another one from Supply Convoy from Seton to Memel. And I don't know if they've had. It looks like they've, because I don't remember these being as aggressive as they were before. But that, I don't know if they've changed that. So we're going to, maybe not every one of these little ports, but definitely some of the major ones, like in Riga and Tallinn up here. We're going to definitely be doing supply straight to them. Hopefully they will be sending a lot of supplies. This way it's just getting there a little more efficiently. Now, coming out of here, to the best of my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, Nagaro, have fun. Heavy drinking with a friend soon. Okay, David. Heavy drinking with a friend. Well, I guess that's fun. I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, as I was saying, the size of the port that is leaving matters. That's to the best of my knowledge. But it does matter the port size of the port receiving the supplies. So meaning you don't have to come out of a major port like Hamburg to get supplies coming out. But if you're sending supplies into a small port, it's only going to be able to handle so much supplies. And it varies. Mostly what I think is naval basing efficiency. Or, yeah. And so like this tech, these affect how much supplies a port can receive. So having this being a small port, I don't think is a negative thing within this game. So keep that in mind. So these coming out here. Now we have so we're supplying these two ports up here from here. So we're going to get rid of everything but the Oslo supply route here. Oh, no, not okay. Cancel convoy. Cancel convoy. Now, if we look here, that's pretty poor infrastructure coming around over to here, but it gets there. But what I'm gonna see about doing is, let's go out of here in Trondheim. We're gonna create a Trondheim, a supply convoy from Trondheim. Can't we do a Trondheim? Are you not going to let me, or can we only do... Thought we could go out of Trondheim? I guess not. Well, maybe give this a moment. Can't we go out of any of these? No, I guess we cannot. Damn, I thought we could be able to go out of Trondheim back up there. So we may have to. We'll see how this goes. For supplies, we may have to create another one. I was hoping to come out away from, you know, being easily intercepted from Britain for supply reasons. Okay, you're also we're gonna fly a few regular bombers down here. Maybe a bigger airbase. There we go. Regular bombers can effectively battle ships. What they do rather poorly is spot enemy ships. So by having No, let's move these guys down to here. Having proper naval bombers operating in the area, and then having some conventional bombers is that the proper naval bombers will spot the enemy operations, and then the battle will start. And then the regular ones will come in and add to the firepower. Air order place, yeah, I guess we'll accept. Recon unit. Let's look at recon unit. Yeah, both of these. Let's shift to something else. Yeah, now I can't build radar in Italian areas, so that is also a bit of a problem. Okay, we want to do commerce rating. So we want to do, and submarine crew training needs to be better. And we can also do trade introduction. So we're going to do both of those right now. That one definitely we're stopping. So let's go over here. Okay, we'd also like commerce defense. So let's start with battle fleet. Okay. Okay, second Panzer Group. I guess that'll be Guderian's command. A bunch more units, but they're not in very good shape yet. Clicking through those. Yeah, we'll give this one to von Manstein. He'll get a promotion. Okay, we're going to stop popping up when we sinking stuff. Okay, because we're hopefully doing a lot of that. We can again see, you can watch the path that these submarines are going out by taking out vessels, convoys. And they're just doing it as they're going out to their patrol zones. Oh. Okay, combined arms. Advance. Which one was it? Artillery, I think, there. And artillery unit training has advanced as well. We'll deal with those in a bit, I think. I think we have more important things to research now. manpower increase is a bit more important, I think. Well, maybe not that many more supplies, but I know we have plenty of supplies and whatnot, but I just don't want it to get too low. Okay, well, we're going to end this episode, not the live stream, but this episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, of course, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time for even more, yes, more Hearts of